let's talk about the most talked about segment from the show. Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton going face to face live in the ring with Wade Barrett as the special guest moderator to keep the peace and keep things on track. Well, if he only knew what was going to happen, he might have said no to this gig. So essentially, this was a way for Tiffany to kind of regain her footing after Charlotte kind of big timed her during the split screen interview a couple of weeks earlier. So I thought in the beginning it wasn't bad that Tiffany was trying to deliver her lines convincingly. The crowd was clearly on her side in Chicago. She was the overwhelming babyface in the situation. And as things proceeded, Charlotte Flair was booed, viciously booed, that she could hardly say anything because this Chicago crowd basically shut her down. And Tiffany won the audience over fairly quickly. So when Charlotte was trying to interject, trying to say something, the crowd booed her out of the building. It was go away, Heat. We don't want to hear what you have to say. And at that point, Charlotte was honestly rattled. She didn't know what to do, couldn't really improv, really couldn't find her footing. And at some point, she just basically gave up. She wanted to go home in terms of, let's wrap this promo up. I've lost this round. Tiffany, just wrap this thing up. Let's go. And Tiffany did not get the cue. And she proceeded to go personal, talking about Charlotte's divorces, going 0 for 3 in the marriage department. And Charlotte spoke very publicly about that recently on a talk show, how difficult that was for her to admit that another marriage fell apart publicly. And then when that happened, Charlotte Flair, after Tiffany ran away, essentially, noted that Ludwig Kaiser was in her DMs. Now, I don't know if anybody in WWE from the fandom in a large scale realized that Tiffany and Ludwig are dating each other in real life, but that was a off-color remark. That was very inside baseball, and no one in Chicago really got it because Charlotte was trying to fire off that shot a little bit too late. This was an absolute disaster of a segment. Charlotte Flair was rattled. She was shooketh. And this WrestleMania match for the women's championship is going to be a fascinating match to watch now for night one of WrestleMania. So I got my popcorn ready, got my drinks on standby. I don't know who's going to be shooting in this match, but it will be fascinating.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this. As far as who's gonna be shooting, who's gonna be not, I saw Charlotte Flair go toe to toe with Nia Jax with no fear. So, it's all fun and games when you can say what you want and not have to worry about no repercussions. They're gonna have to step in the ring, and Charlotte's gonna lay it in, man. And like I said, it's all fun and games until you get hit with that first potato and you really start feeling the sting. And then Charlotte starts laying them big boots in on you. That moonsault hits a little bit harder. Like that spear, she got a little extra shoulder into you. I'm just saying, like, there's a whole lot more left of this to go. For me, as bad as the segment may have came off and it wasn't great, this has added more intrigue to the match because now I do want to see what's going to happen. I already thought they were going to have a great match as it is. Now this might break down into a little bit of a brawl before we get a good match, and that's okay. Let them go out there, get it out their system, throw a couple hands, get it out the way early. After you do that, we're done. We're moving on. But I'm fully expecting Tiffany to walk away with some lumps after this match.
Me too. She's going to go through some things. She's going to go through some experiences. Charlotte Flair is going to hit that chop a little bit harder than she normally would. She's going to lay in some punches a little bit stiffer than she normally would. She might ragdoll you more than she normally would. She might not go down for you like she normally would. It's going to be difficult. And I think that you're right in that they need to get it out of their system early, get the frustrations out, let's get the animosity out of the way immediately, and then just get to business and deliver a great WrestleMania match. I thought the match was going to be very good. I love tension, but it has to be placed in the right context. And if they can work through what happened on Friday, which was an absolute disaster, then this match for night one of WrestleMania should be a great one. And we know Charlotte's going to wrestle like I should have been in the main event. I'm going to make y'all remember this where I should have been. And Tiffany's got to match her level. And as you said, it's one thing to run away after you say something, is something completely different when that bell rings and you have nowhere to run, and that you have to take your lumps as you lay them out, as you set yourself up for, and then ultimately step up when it counts the most. So this is a big test for Tiffany. This is the deep waters now, and we know how Charlotte Flair can be. So if you can handle that and you can pass that test, then I think this match of WrestleMania should be a great one when it's all said and done. But it will be very personal and bruising along the way for sure.
Yeah, and but again, long as they do what they need to do when they step in the ring, this will all be okay. I mean, they're gonna clip what they need to clip and play what they need to play, but I think this showed everyone in the locker room as far as going forward, as far as Tiffany goes. I'm probably not the lady to mess with. And no, she's not just taking Victoria's theme song; she's actually living by that. So yeah, I in Charlotte, everybody Charlotte's probably just like, you know what? All right, maybe I got a little bit of respect. Let's see how you handle this first little potato to the face. But I'm looking forward to the match now more than I was before it.
Yes, I have a deep curiosity in terms of how it's going to go now, at least the first 5 minutes. And then from there, it should be excellent. But yeah, I think people learned that Tiffany Stratton can hold her own in a situation that can go off the rails pretty quickly, pretty quick on the microphone. I do wish her delivery was a bit smoother versus remembering her lines and just trying to make sure it flows. That will come with more experience and mic time, obviously. But yeah, she kind of proved herself because Charlotte Flair does have a tendency of going into business for herself at times, and you have to be able to adapt and adjust. And I thought that Tiffany did a good job despite this segment being mostly horrible.